The Anattalakkhana Sutta, also known as the Discourse on the Not-Self characteristic, is one of the most important teachings in Buddhism. It was delivered by the Buddha to his 5 former companions after he attained enlightenment. The central idea of this sutta is the concept of Anattā, which means not self or no self. This teaching challenges the common belief that there is a permanent, unchanging self or soul within us. The Buddha used this sutta to explain that what we usually think of as self is actually made up of 5 aggregates: form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. Each of these components is constantly changing, so they cannot be considered as part of a permanent self. In the sutta, the Buddha asks his followers to carefully examine these 5 aggregates. He teaches that none of them can be regarded as me or mine, because they are subject to change, suffering, and are ultimately not under our control. For example, our bodies, form, change over time, and our feelings and thoughts, feeling and perception, fluctuate based on experiences. Since these aggregates are always changing, they are not something we can hold onto or rely on as a permanent identity. The Anattalakkhana Sutta helps to break the illusion of a fixed self, which is a key source of suffering. The belief in a permanent self leads to attachment and clinging, which cause pain when we inevitably lose things we are attached to, whether it's our youth, health, or relationships. By understanding that there is no permanent self, we can begin to let go of attachments and reduce suffering in our lives. This teaching is directly linked to the core Buddhist principle of impermanence, Anattā, which states that all things are temporary and subject to change. This sutta is significant because it introduces the idea that liberation comes from seeing through the illusion of the self. Once we understand that there is no unchanging self, we can begin to free ourselves from the cycle of suffering known as samsara. The Buddha explains that by realizing the truth of Anattā, one can achieve nibbana, nirvana, which is the ultimate goal in Buddhism, freedom from suffering and rebirth. An important aspect of the Anattalakkhana Sutta is the way it encourages us to observe our experience carefully. By observing our body and mind, we can directly see that they are constantly changing. For instance, one moment we may feel happy, and the next moment we might feel sad. Our thoughts and emotions are in a constant state of flux. This observation helps to reinforce the understanding that nothing is fixed, and there is no permanent I controlling these experiences. The Buddha also uses logic in the sutta to dismantle the idea of the self. He asks, if the body were self, would it lead to suffering? Since the body ages, gets sick, and eventually dies, it clearly cannot be a permanent, satisfying self. The same logic applies to feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. All are impermanent and lead to suffering when clung to as me or mine. The Anattalakkhana Sutta is a profound teaching that invites us to look deeply into the nature of existence. It challenges our habitual ways of thinking about ourselves and the world. Instead of seeing ourselves as separate, permanent entities, the Buddha teaches that we are part of an ever-changing flow of experience. By realizing this truth, we can begin to loosen our attachment to the ego and live with greater peace and freedom. In summary, the Anattalakkhana Sutta is one of the most crucial teachings in Buddhism, introducing the concept of anatta, or not self. Through examining the 5 aggregates, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness, the Buddha shows that none of these can be considered a permanent self. This understanding helps to reduce attachment, leading to a reduction in suffering. By recognizing the impermanent nature of all things, we can begin to let go of the false idea of a fixed self and move towards the ultimate goal of nibbana.